All right. Sit any way that feels comfortable for you. Hero pose, Sukhasana. Sit well. And come into your breath. Letting go of anything that's happened before class, whatever it took to get signed on, whatever's been going on in your life, just set it aside for a few moments. I've used this before, but someone taught me this technique of fashioning a basket, a beautiful basket in your mind. Weave it with ribbons and silver and gold and embellish it with jewels and pearls or whatever you want, simple or ornate. Fashion a beautiful basket. And then into that basket, put all your cares, your woes, your stresses, your frustrations, any sort of edgy feelings, anything that's not serving you right now. Just put it all into that beautiful, beautiful basket. And then see yourself setting that basket outside, anywhere outside, either outside your house or in the middle of a street or a busy highway, or just place it somewhere outside so maybe other people will see it. And trust me, no one wants your basket, no matter how many diamonds you encrust on it, because they have their own stuff. And so that basket will be there for you to pick up after class. Sometimes that gives me solace to just set it aside for a few moments, for an hour. And then you can pick it up, or it'll just follow you home. Don't worry about it. It'll follow you around all day. Just set it outside of your space where you're practicing. Today, I wanted to work with this concept of stretching your wings. I've been working with a 13-year-old, not one of my granddaughters, but the age of my granddaughters. And we work together some, and she's really adorable. She just chats. As soon as her father leaves, she just talks all the time. But she loves this manga, the Japanese animated anime. And I was getting her to stretch and to move, and she said, "How do you stretch wings?" And I went, "What?" She said, "How do you stretch wings?" And she started telling me about this manga character that she likes. And of course, she went on her phone to find it. And I thought, is this one of those things we learned to do very early to sidetrack our teachers and to move them down another path? And for a minute, I started to say, okay, just come on back, put that away. And then I thought, no, this matters to her, even if it is a diversion. Why did she choose this diversion, the wings? And she showed me this beautiful picture of this young, I think it's male, but some of the characters are a little androgynous. And he had these big, beautiful red wings. They are huge. And so I pulled out the skeleton and I said, here's where his wings are attached. And I talked to her about the shoulder blades, the scapulas on the back, on the rib cage, and how all the muscles around there have to be so strong to stretch your wings. So I've been playing with that for the past week. I saw her last week and been thinking about stretching one's wings, both literally and figuratively. So one of the things that 2020 and COVID have forced us to do is to stretch a little beyond our comfort zones, to become more comfortable with Zoom, to work through issues of how do I get the social connection I need without hugging. And it's just, so how do we stretch our wings? That's what we're going to work with today. So we will work a lot with shoulder blades. If I had you here in class, we'd work the balls on the back of the shoulder blades, but not knowing whether everybody has a good lacrosse ball or a tennis ball, we won't do that. But that's something certainly do on your own time, is to work the ball into your shoulder blades to stretch your wings. We've got to keep the wings flowing. So as you move your arms, just let's sit for a moment though, and see your wings. Close your eyes. See those wings. They don't have to be red, but this red was such a rich, beautiful red. Make them any color you want. They can be multicolored. Doing a lot of art teacher imagination in the head today. Just bear with me. But fashion your wings. And these were huge wings. I think from the top of the wing to the tip, it was about the height or maybe even higher than the young man. They were amazing when folded. But see them on your back. Feel the shoulder blades connecting onto the rib cage. And as the bottom tips of the shoulder blades lift into the back of your heart, take a deeper, fuller breath. Begin to invite a ujjayi sounded breath, constricting the back of the throat slightly, compressing or resisting the air through that throat diaphragm, where you hear it coming in and out like an ocean breath. With each inhale, envision that your wings lift and spread. The arms stay down, but just lift your wings. So you're spreading the shoulder blades slightly off the back. And with each exhale, the wings come back down, fold down, and the shoulder blades slide back and down. So it's a tiny, you're not lifting your shoulders. In fact, if one's looking at you, there's almost no movement. You're just feeling it. Maybe you would see the rib cage expand. But you're not doing any heavy duty movement, just focusing on your shoulder blades, pulling them a tiny bit off the back when you inhale and hugging them slightly on the back without overworking the shoulders. It's muscles around the shoulder blade. And draw your palms together in front of your heart center. Inhale. Release your hands. Flutter your eyes open. If you have your legs crossed, if you're sitting hero pose, which I think Debbie usually does, but if you're sitting on your heels, just stay there. But if you've got your legs crossed, recross the second favorite way. Well, actually, let's everybody put the left leg in front. And inhale, now move the wings from the shoulder blades, pressing heavy air down. So if you've got these big, heavy wings, you won't be just lifting up and lowering. You'll be pressing up and over. Let me see if, inhale. And exhale, turn the palms, press it down, lift the collarbone. So even though the arms are coming down, the collarbones and heart are lifting up. Imagine you've got these big, beautiful wings, or like this dancer from the early 1900s, Loie Fuller. She would have this chiffon silky fabric just all along her arms. And when she would lift them, it would look like wings. So you're pulling them up, noticing the shoulder blades. Keep the bottom ribs down, keep them quiet and tucked in as you're lifting, you're moving them. I've had so much fun exploring how I my wings and how I strengthen my wings. The next time your arms are up, your left leg is in front, right? Drop your right arm, stretch up and arc over. Oh. So now we're opening the left wing way big. Seat the left sit bone down a lot. Oh. And then push off with the right hand, come back up, both arms up. Exhale, drop your left hand and arc over. Inhale, up. Recross the legs the other way with your right leg in front. Inhale the wings up. Exhale, lower your right hand, stretch it up and over, tilt to the right. Inhale, lift up, stretch up and over like big windmill, big bird wings. Do that again, each side, lift up, arms are over. Ah, isn't it fun to fly? And release. Walk the hands forward, sits bones stay down, and you just walk forward as far as you feel a nice stretch. I feel a stretch in the hip flexor, the bum, and the outer hip flexors, particularly in my front leg. You might feel it somewhere else. Just notice. Inhale, come up, recross, other leg in front, left leg in front, and stretch forward here. And now you'll feel it a little bit more in the left hip flexor. Oh, gosh. Inhale, come back up. Come to hands and knees. Pad your knees as you wish. Your blocks. I got contrasting blocks, I want you to know. Mary, you've been inspiring me to contrast here. The block's a little wider, quite wider than hip width. Pull the knees together so the knees are right under the hips. Shift back into a child's pose where you're, compressing whatever breakfast you might have eaten. Spread the fingers on the blocks. Push the hands into the block and lift the armpits, particularly the inner armpit. Widen the inner armpit away from the neck, and the outer outer armpit moves down. Keep pushing on the block. The head's in line with the arms, not hanging or lifted. Inhale, come up to table on the blocks. Exhale, widen the knees. Now shift back and just notice less compression, more extension. Push the hands into the blocks. Seesaw principle. The hands go down, the armpits lift. Shoulder blades hug on to the back. Be aware of what the shoulder blades are doing. Inhale, back up to center. With the hands on the blocks, begin to round and arch. Tuck the tailbone, bow the head. Inhale, lift. So you're moving the shoulder blades. The wings are fairly quiet, but you're moving the attachment of the wing. So if we think about our arms are attached to the shoulder blades and moved by the shoulder blades, as well as all the muscles around the shoulders, and we begin to lift and move the arms differently. All right, from hands and knees, step your right foot forward. Left hand on the block. Stretch the right arm up. Keep pressing into the heel of the front foot and the big toe ball. Keep the back toes tucked. And pull down. Straighten the front leg. You can walk the blocks back, bringing them up higher. Hips right over the left knee. And point and flex the foot. Not moving much of anything else, just stretching the toes forward and pulling, particularly the baby toe side of the right foot back towards your outer right hip. Point and stretch, flex. Ooh. And notice pointing, stretch the top of the foot, the ankle. Flexing, I feel it in the calf and the hamstring. All right. And change sides. Step your left foot forward between the blocks on either side of your feet. The right hand is down, left foot is forward. Take a moment, tuck your back toes and scissor the legs like you're about to lift your back knee off the floor. On your inhale, stretch the arm up. And so this is your top wing. So you're lifting, the top wing is open and the bottom wing is closed and connected. So that means the bottom shoulder blade is hugging on the back a lot. The upper shoulder blade, your top arm, Your left arm, the shoulder blade's not, that arm is not load bearing, it's not carrying weight, so it can expand, it can open. So you open the left side of the chest. Exhale and release. Walk your blocks back as high as you want them. So the back can be long. If you're rounding, come up higher. You can even come up way up on the fingertips, so you're almost all the way up. But it's moving the sits bones back and the inner thighs wide apart. Now, begin to point and flex slowly. So you can exhale when you flex and inhale when you do a nice long, slow point. Notice how much weight you have on your hands. The more weight you put on the hands, the more tendency you have to collapse. So just think about it. If you have wings on your back and you round the back, the wings are they're not going to be fully supported. So you pull the shoulder blades onto the rib cage and hug, light on the fingertips. Nice. All right. And release. All right. Move the blanket out of the way. If you have these nice foam blocks that are soft, you won't need a blanket, but if you've got cork or wood blocks, you'll probably want to put a blanket on top because they're hard. Place your left knee on a block and your left hand on a block up. So you're on the lowest level on the knee block and your middle level on the hand block. Stretch the right leg out. Dig in with the inner edge of the right inner foot, inner heel and big toe ball, and keep that. Stretch the bed of the foot towards the floor as well. Then pull the whole foot in towards the midline. Scoop the tailbone so your bum's not hanging behind you. You can come up higher on the block as you need to. Inhale the arms up, open the wing. Stretch the arm way over. Oh. Nice. Half beach babe. So you're just folding the wings slightly. Hug the shoulder blade on the back. It's having to support a whole wing, so you can't let it go off. Exhale, stable in the standing hip, so don't let the left move around a lot. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Whoa, pull the shoulder blades on the back. Particularly your standing hand, your left hand, that shoulder blade has to really support you so you don't hang in the shoulder. All right, we're adding something to it. Now, when you exhale, draw your right knee up and inhale, stretch the right leg long, just hover it off the floor. It can tap down. Exhale, do it slowly so you don't lose your balance. And inhale, stretch it up. One more. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, stretch it up. Push down, release, and change sides. Whew. Well, that's fun. Sort of. Right knee on the block. Put the same one on. So the standing hand, now the right hand is your standing hand. If you have it too far under you, that means your shoulder's forward of your wrist, and that's not happy for your shoulders. Pull it, if it's too far out, of course, then you're straining. So you find that little happy medium, sort of the outer edge of the shoulder. And breathe. Press the inner edge of the left foot down, the inner heel and the toe ball. Keep that, and then stretch the outer, the baby toe side of the foot down. So the whole foot's on the floor, but you're connecting it. Scoop the tailbone to lift up and out so you're not sticking your bum back. Scoop the tailbone and hug the right glute way in. Press down on the left foot and stretch the arm up. Nice. Stretch it overhead. Feel the stretch all the way from the baby toe side of the foot to the fingertips. And stretch the arm straight up. Stretch it overhead. Keep hugging your right glute in. Don't let the bum go way back. Hug the hip in. Stretch it up. Then half beach babe. Exhale, round, keep everything stable. Inhale, lift. Exhale, contract, use the core, pull the ribs in. Inhale, lift. And then for the really crazy one, exhale, everything contracts. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, maybe the left foot touches the floor when you stretch it out. Maybe it doesn't. One more. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. And release. Come to a down dog. You can have your hands on blocks or not. Your choice. I kind of like it. You can do both. And just stretch it back into dog. Oh. Walk your dog, pedaling the feet. Oh. And shifting forward into plank pose. Hug the shoulder blades on the back. Keep the wings hugging on the back so you can stretch them out. Exhale, back to dog. Inhale, forward, hug the shoulder blades on the back. Exhale, keep the shoulder blades hugging on the back and stretch back to dog. One more. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, back. Inhale, step your right foot forward, straight leg lunge. Lower the back knee. You can pad it as you wish. Take your strap. So with the right leg forward, left leg back, take the strap. It can be a stretchy band, keep some stretch in it. With the fixed band, get that buckle close to my hand so I don't slap myself with it. All right, so wherever you are, stretchy or fixed, pull the band apart. The arms are slightly bent, not stick straight and not way bent, but partially bent. And imagine, bring your wings back on the back, hug the shoulder blades on the back, tailbone down, belly button in, slide your side ribs back. And now we're just making round the whirls just from the rib cage. Keep the ribs tucked in and quiet. You'll notice in this kind of knee down semi-lunge, just not a deep lunge, so your knee's not way behind your hip at all. If anything, it's pretty much under it. Oh, stretch back, move it slow. And you'll notice, I do anyway, first of all, my hips don't move around a lot when I've got in this asymmetrical position. But also, when I stretch back, I feel a good stretch across the front of the left quadricep. Ooh. And then reverse it. Keep pulling the strap apart. Give it some resistance. And take your time going back, slow, slow, slow. The core has to be really strong when you're going back, or you might feel something in the low back. Take it back, be brave. The wings go way back and release. I'm getting a bit of a workout here, so it's good. It's all good. I'm committed to losing my COVID spread. We'll see how that goes. All right, come on up. So again, your lunge, you're not coming way far lunge. It's more like what football players do when they take a knee down. Not necessarily politically, they just drop a knee. All right, pull the bottom ribs in and back. Lengthen the tailbone. And already just from here, you should feel a bit of especially if you're tight, a stretch up the quadricep and the front hip flexors. If your bum is sticking way back, you won't feel anything on the hip flexors. So tuck the tailbone, get it out of the way of your wings. All right, arms fairly wide, and then begin. Go one direction, doesn't matter. Just slowly, especially going back. Take your time, leisurely, pull the ribs in and down as you move back. And exhale, pull the ribs up and in to get some core engagement. roundy round. This is definitely stretching the wings. Also stretching the quadriceps. A couple of other things, the lats. I think lats are attached to wings. Reverse the direction. Oh, open, pull in. Oh. Oh. Yeah, and release. Well done. Take another dog and bring it in. Stretch it out. Oh. Walk your hands back to your toes, forward bend at the back of your mat. The legs can be a little wider than hip width. The knees can be soft. And then do micro bend, micro straighten, have your blocks under your hands as you need to, or on a chair, that works well as well, or on the wall. Inhale, hands to your hips, shrug your shoulders, lift the head of the arm bones, and rise up. All right, and release. All right, now we're gonna have some fun. Okay, put your left foot forward. So have the block where your left foot will be, step your left foot up on the block, and step back in a lunge position. Keep the back heel up, it's harder. If you're like falling all over the place, then definitely drop the whole foot if you want to and work it. But see if you can play with your balance here with the back heel up. Now press into the front heel a lot. Have the block in your hands. Move back a bit. Woo, doggy. All right, steady on. This is hard enough just to hold this. The block in the hands and push it between the hands, right? And then stretch it up. Scissor the legs, inner thighs move back and apart, tailbone down, side ribs down. Stretch over to the right. Woo. Push into the block. Bend the elbows and pull them back. Those are the wings, pull them back. But the bottom ribs have to stay quiet, down and back. Inhale, come up. Keep the block in the hand. Spin the back foot down if you haven't already, coming into a warrior two. So you're like this, into a warrior two with the front foot on the block. Back heel is down. Keep the back heel down. Bring the hands up, change the block into the right hand, and then twist against the grain. It's a tight twist towards the left. Inhale back up. Release. And step forward and off the block and stand for a moment. It feels like you're a little hiked up on one side because you are. All right. Block under the right foot. Other block in your hands. Place the foot on the block. Step the back foot back and a little out to the right, to the left, so that you're not on tightrope. That's almost impossible to hold. You're at least hip width, maybe even a little wider. So your lunge is a little narrower. You're not quite as far back as you might be if you weren't on this crazy block. Lift the back heel and inner rotate the leg. So a lot of times what happens with the back leg is it rotates out while the heel might be up, but you're pulling the inner left thigh up to the ceiling, outer left thigh down. Block between the hands. Woo. Press down the inner heel a lot. Bend the front knee, but the knee's right over the ankle, not forward. Lift up, pull your wings back, pull the elbows back, press the block, and stretch away from the bent leg to your left. Balance is hard here. On the inhale, push into the block and stand up. Exhale, turn, side stretch to the front leg, towards the front leg. Keep the back leg strong. Inhale up. Take the block in the right hand, spin the back foot down, keep the front knee bent, and come into a warrior one lunge. So the whole back foot is down, slightly turned in. Arms up, wings up, switch the block, legs steady, and spin away towards the front knee. Oh. Deep twist, tight twist. Inhale back up. Exhale, release. Step up, get off the block, and stand for a moment. Close your eyes. Inhale, come up. If you're still holding the block, great. If you dropped it, pick it back up. So we'll do a version of, it's not quite an Ardha, it's kind of like an Ardha Chandrasana, but it's a version. If you have a wall, I would suggest backing up to it to keep your balance. You can certainly do this without with no net. I'm happy for you to do that. But if you want a little joy, back up to something. Or you could, like Sherry, I know where you are, kind of behind the couch. You could have it so when you come down, you could hold the back of the couch. That could be an option as well, or hold onto a table. But if you back up to a wall, not just touching it, but not quite, have the block in your right hand and hold it to your outer right thigh. Shift your weight to your left foot and push the leg into the block into the leg. Not a lot, just a bit. Stretch the bottom wing, your left wing out. Stretch it out. Lift the right leg. Woohoo, that's why I like a wall. And try to get it way out. Keep pushing the block into the leg. Push the leg up into the block. Stretch it out. Hold on to a chair or a couch with your left hand. Lean against the wall. And if you're against the wall, try to come away from it. Scoop your bum away from the wall. Oh, and release. Okay. Take it off. Ready to go, side B. So you start small. Again, you can be against a wall. You can also have a chair there near you if you want that as well, if hanging the arm out in space is not comfortable. But if you're against the wall, you're not completely, oh yeah, I can collapse against it. Up, my bum is just barely gracing the wall, kind of sliding across it, but not so close that I can't come away from it. Just standing here, push the left hand into the block and the left leg into the block. So you've got this little connection right here. Draw the shoulder blade, particularly the left shoulder blade, on the back. The right shoulder blade also draws on the back, but it's easier with the pressure, the resistance. And shift your weight to your right foot and just tilt a bit. Just get the feeling of being on one leg. Push the leg into the block, the hand into the block. Scoop your tailbone, see if you can come away from the wall. It's there for you as you need, thank goodness. And then take it a little bigger. Woo, stretch the wing out, the bottom wing out, the right wing. Keep pushing the leg into the block into the leg. Oh. Stretch it out, keep pushing the leg up. Leg wants to get lazy. Oh, and release. Oh. If you're at the wall, do a wall dog. If you're at the back of the couch, or do a regular dog as you wish. Let's stretch it out. And find yourself on the floor. Take your band. If you've got a stretchy band, this is quite yummy. Oh, I don't know if you call it yummy, but it certainly is intense. All right, have a block under your forehead. Can tilt up a bit as you're on your belly. The belt is behind your back. Hold on to it, strap, and stretch it. Give it a good stretch. So if you've got a fixed band, just stretch it. A resistance band, even more so. Turn the thumbs up. So you've got a fist with your fingers, but the thumbs turn up. That outer rotates the shoulder blades. Take a breath, stretch your legs long behind you. Click all 10 toenails down on the floor. Tailbone lengthens, pull the belly button up and in. On the inhale, just lift the shoulders and the thumbs. Head stays down for now. Exhale a little lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Now start to let the head float off. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Thumbs want to roll back to the floor. Keep them up to the ceiling. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more, lift. And lower. That was so much fun. Shift back into child's pose. Using the blocks or not, you can put the block under your head, which is nice. And enjoy your breath. Inhale your way back up to center. Come to sit, and I recommend sitting on a blanket. Have your strap or band near you. Whew. Sit well. Draw your right knee up. It's like tree pose, but you're seated. Take the strap, or if you can reach your foot easily, strap or band around the bottom of the foot. Pull tight and pull the elbows back towards the ribs so that the shoulders aren't hunching. You're going to get the wings back on your back. So even though you're down on the floor, now you have to really keep the consciousness of the wings on your back. Pull the heart forward. The wings move back. The head of the arm bones move back. The shoulder blades hug onto the rib cage. Stretch forward. Good hamstring stretch. Inhale, come up and open your left leg out to the side. Right leg stays where it is. The left hand takes hold of the strap or band and pulls in. Again, you're pulling the elbow towards the rib cage. And if you can nuzzle some part of your left arm on the inside of your left leg, do that. Stack your shoulder blades on top of each other, come into half beach babe, suck the armpit back, and stretch the elbow towards your left foot. Ribs back and down, keep them quiet, pull them in, and stretch over. So it's a big stretch for the inner thigh and the hamstring of the straight leg, and a big stretch for the lats and the side obliques of your right side. Push your head into your hand. Don't let the head drop forward. And inhale, use the strength in the core to come back up to seated so you don't tweak your low back. Change sides. All right, tree pose regular, seated tree pose. At least that's I've started calling it that. Lasso the foot, slide your strap. If you got the resistance band, you just pull it back to where the elbows come to the ribs, or this fixed band, just pull. And then lift up and out of your hips. So the tendency when the hamstrings get tight is to curl back and collapse. Lift up the sits bones down on the floor and tilt forward. The heart's moving forward. So you feel the stretch in the hamstring, not in the low back, not behind the knees. If you feel it right in behind the knee, then you dig your front heel, the right heel, into the floor more. Pull the heel back as you step on the gas slightly and micro bend your right knee. In fact, you can bend it a fair bit if you can't get the discomfort out of the back of the knee. Feel it in the hamstring, the belly of the hamstring. And then come up, keep holding the strap with the right hand, and open the leg out to the side. All right. Again, pull on the band until the elbow comes back, and maybe some part of your, maybe it's just the back of the right hand touches on the inner right knee or right thigh, or maybe you can get the whole forearm down. Just depends on what's going on with you. Now, the left sit bone starts to get light, so take the outer left hip down, ground your left sit bone, stretch your left arm up and over, beach babe, half beach babe, suck the armpit back and stretch the elbow. It's like the elbow's trying to reach back and towards your right foot. Keep hugging the straight leg into some part of the right arm, right leg into the right arm, push the head into the hand and lift up out of your hips and over. Nice. And release. All right. Move the strap and stretch the left leg out. And this time the right foot, the left foot is, sorry, left leg is out, the right foot is on the floor, the knee is down. And here, I'll turn around a bit. You can always use a block behind you. It's kind of nice. As you're up, you're coming into a gate, a kind of a weird gate pose where you're lifting up, like half bridge, one leg straight, one leg not. So as you press down into the right foot and the right hand, come up and push it over. Open. Oh. Curl back, reach back, big wing on your left side, and then slowly contract and come down. Wow. Come on back. All right. So you come to the next side. Left foot, left knee is bent, right leg is straight. Left hand is on the block or the floor. Push into the left leg and lift the hips. Stretch it out. Curl back, curl back. And release. Okay. All right. Come to lie on your belly. Forearms, Sphinx pose. You can either place the hands flat or you can lightly interlace them, just don't over clench. And from here then, we'll just exhale, belly button up and in, and just contract like you're doing a sit-up, but only in reverse. Inhale, extend, lift the shoulders, lift the head. Exhale, it's a little cat-cows. Your hips do come up, but you're not trying to pick them up. You're just trying to lift from the core. The knees stay down, and you just pull the ribs in, pull the belly button in, scoop the tailbone, bow in. I find this to be a fair bit. I would be moaning if I were in class. Exhale, pull it in. Oh. Inhale, release. Rest for a moment. Rest your head on your hands, windshield wiper the legs. So we'll do another round of the same thing or slightly different. So the slightly different, you can look up a minute, is where we were just coming up here. This time, we'll put the top of the feet, lift the knees, pull the elbows, pull the ribs up, and come down. Curl down. All right, either do it with the knees down and the same thing we did before, or as you lift, press into the top of the feet, lift the knees as you lift, pull the belly up and in. Burn, baby, burn. Couple more. Exhale. Push. Don't let the shoulders override. The shoulder blades are moving on and off the back, but they're not what are holding you up. Whew. And release. All right, that's all I can do. If you can do more, have at it. I've been doing these all week, though. Every time I laugh, I feel it. All right. Flip over on your back. Have your strap or band near you and one block near you. Oh. But first, just enjoy being on your back. This is that point in the class where some people like to go into early Shavasana. I won't point fingers at who, but it's somebody online who tends to just quit here and go directly into Shavasana. You know who I'm talking about. Begins with a G. All right. Just settle and enjoy this and do a few little cat-cows with the hips. So you're tilting the sits bones towards the heels and the back waist comes off the floor. Exhale, the back waist presses into the floor, the sits bones. Do a little curl up. You're not trying to lift your hips. It's a very small movement. You're not using your legs to lift anything, just the hips and the core muscles, back and forth. All right. Come to a full day behind your head. Snuggle your shoulder blades on the back. So now you're on your back and you imagine your wings are spread out. You've got to keep the shoulders hugging into the back, hugging onto the rib cage. And breathe here. Just suspend the head enough that the knuckles are maybe touching the floor, but there's no weight. The weight of your head is in the hands. The elbows come up. Don't let the elbows pop. Elbows start to point towards the ceiling to suck the armpits back. That allows you to hug your shoulder blades on the back. Only hug on the rib cage. Now tilt your sits bones towards your heels, getting a back waist curve, a low back curve. Keep that. Belly button drops to the spine, lowering the back waist curve a tiny bit. Side ribs move towards the floor a lot. Now you have about enough room to slide a pencil under your back waist. Keep that, but keep the jaw and the neck soft. On the exhale, lift just the heart towards the ceiling without smashing the back waist. And then exhale, lower. It's a tiny movement. Exhale, keep everything. Lift the heart, not by pulling with your arms, but the head is totally resting in your hands. So you have to use the upper abdominals, the upper core to exhale, lift, inhale, slowly lower. Exhale, lift, not with a herky jerk, but a slow, sustained movement. And then adding a cross, but very small. So normally with like health club core crunches, you're doing this really pull, close elbow to knee, but you're not. So just lift your left knee off, your left foot off the floor so the knee comes over the hip. Again, try to keep the low back curve as best you can. Slide your shoulder blades on the back. Side ribs move towards the floor, belly button in, tailbone long. Exhale, lift the right elbow up towards the ceiling and press the left knee up to the ceiling. And then inhale, come back. So it's very isometric. Come back, lift the right foot. Now, head's heavy. Lift the left elbow towards the ceiling and lift the right knee towards the ceiling. Exhale. Repeat that a few times very slowly. So exhale, you're lifting up. It's like you're trying to draw both points, the knee and the elbow, up to the ceiling evenly. But you're turning the rib cage slightly to the right and left as the left elbow points up. You're bringing the left shoulder blade off the floor. And then as the right elbow points up, the right shoulder blade is off the floor. Getting into the obliques, the side core muscles. Even out your rounds, make sure you have the same on each side. And then release. Do some nice floppy windshield wipers. Then with the feet, a little outer hip width apart. The left knee stays right where it is, pointing up to the ceiling. Open the right knee out to the side like half butterfly. Slide the right foot under the bridge of the left leg. So the left leg with the knee bent is forming a bridge. The right foot slides under it, as far under it as your knee and hip will permit. Keep wiggling it in just a bit more. Both sides of the sacrum are on the floor. From the core of the pelvis, stretch out through the top of the right thigh and stretch the right knee towards the short edge of your mat. And then isometrically push the outer right thigh, the right knee, towards the floor. You may just go straight to the floor. It means your hips are so open. But the rest of us mere mortals are working on that. You'll notice that as you're stretching the outer right knee to the floor, the ribs get a little crazy and they start to get loud, we call it. They spread out and they move in. Quiet them down, pull them down and back as you stretch the right knee out. An option is to pick up the left foot and rest it lightly on the inner knee, inner right thigh, and let the weight of the foot, you're not pushing it, but just the mere weight of the left foot moves the knee down. You feel a nice stretch across the quadricep, top of the thigh, and the hip flexors. Then push the inner right knee back up into the foot so you start to engage the adductors, the inner thigh muscles. You can stretch the right arm overhead for one long, long, luxurious stretch. And inhale your way up. Stretch both legs long. And then bend your knees. Come back up for side two. The right leg stays stable, knees pointing straight up to the ceiling. Open the left knee out in butterfly. Slide the left foot under the bridge of your right leg. Right leg forms a bridge, left foot slides all the way under, as far under as is comfortable for you, as far to the right as you can. Then what will happen is you'll start to tilt more to the left sacrum. Set the right sacrum back down. So pull the inner right belly back towards the right and down without smashing your low back into the floor. And then from the core of the pelvis, stretch out through the left thigh, all the way through the left knee. The outer left knee starts to move towards the floor without letting the ribs pop up. Keep the ribs quiet. You can place the right foot, the sole of the foot, inner left knee, and let the weight of it pull you down. Again, keep the right sacrum as level as possible. It gets a little bit lighter, but you're pulling back with the inner right belly to keep it weighted. So you're using the core here. And then push the left knee back up into the sole of the right foot for a little resistance to engage the inner thigh a bit. You can stretch your left arm way overhead, the right arm, anything it wants to do. Stretch long. From the core of the pelvis, you send out through the left knee, from the core of the pelvis up and out through your left wingtip. Oh, stretch it way out. And then release. Take your strap, bend both knees. Place the strap or the band around your ankles. Stretchy band works great too. Wrap the strap or band around your hands. Bend your elbows a little bit so you can snuggle your shoulder blades under your back, pressed into your elbows. And then the low back's off the floor. Sits bones are tilting towards the heels, but the belly button drops down, side ribs drop down. Open the heart. As you push into your legs, lift your hips, pull the strap hard, and snuggle your wing tips, your wing mounts under you even more. Get them up under there so you could fly off at this point. Push into the hands. The strap or the band actually helps to get you up. Pull the strap as you push up higher. And then exhale. Slowly release. take your block, place it between your knees, stretch the arms out in a T position, and drop the legs over to the right. Keep the left shoulder blade down. If this means that you turn the block up at a higher level to lift the top knee, the left knee, then be it. That gets your left shoulder blade down. The right hand just weights the outer edge of the left leg and pull back with the left belly. Pull the left inner belly back to the left to spin the ribs back to the left. I love twist. Inhale, hold onto your block as you lift one knee and then the other. Put the block again in between the knees as high or big as you want. You can put a bolster between the knees. Snuggle both shoulder blades down. Whoa, what happened to this side? The outer right hip moves away from the ribs. As you slide both shoulder blades on the back, coming to weight the right shoulder blade down. Again, if it will not go down, try turning the block a little higher so the right knee lifts a bit, but keep the left one down. Left leg down. Oh, big stretch, big twist. So you're not so much squeezing the block as using it as a spacer. Inhale your way back up to center. Do any sort of movements you want to do before final relaxation. Stretching. And set yourself up in any way that feels good. Have blankets under your knees. Come into a supported fish pose with a block under your back and one under your head. Or regular, plain old original Shavasana works as well. Settle in. As you close the eyes, bring your awareness to your breath. Let everything melt and settle. Begin to stretch your arms and legs in any way possible, gradually rolling to your side. Taking a moment, pressing yourself up. Sit well, any way you want to. Draw your palms together in front of the heart center. And as you take the last moment on the inhale, see your beautiful wings spread out and open, and then close and hug onto your back. Bow your head. Namaste.